They say silence is golden, and this video will give you more reasons to believe so. Today, we'll take a closer look at the silence negative effect, discuss which abilities are affected by it, and how to effectively use this valuable tool in combat. Welcome to the new episode of the Guardian's Guidebook. First of all, let's define what silence is. In essence, silence is a negative effect that prevents Guardians from using certain skills and abilities for its duration. At the moment, only 3 heroes can inflict this effect. Kira's Blade Whirlwind silences opponents on the way back. Thea silences enemies with her Vow of Silence ability. Mushi and Shroom's Spore Mushrooms also silence Guardians when they explode. It is crucial to understand that not every skill can be conveniently shushed by a well-timed silence. There are 3 different types of abilities that silence affects. Let's go over each of them in detail. The first and the widest type are the abilities that deal any other type of damage than physical. Jin Mao's Dragon's Claw, Nebula's Serenity, and Kai's Breath of the Abyss will all be blocked by silence, as pure damage, magic damage, and healing are all considered non-physical damage. This type also covers basic attacks of Xisha, Morrigan, and Satori, as all of them deal magic damage. So yeah, in some cases silence can work as a disarming tool, which is quite handy. The next type are abilities that use magic attack to calculate the result. In contrast to the previous type, this one also covers non-damage abilities, buffs, debuffs, shields, and many others. Abilities like Helios's Celestial Guardians, Lilith's Fire Breath, and Cornelius's Protective Dome use Guardian's magic attack stat to calculate the power of their skills, making them susceptible to silence. Cornelius's basic attacks also fall into this category, as even though their damage type is physical, they use magic attack to calculate the amount of damage. The third and the rarest type are the abilities that don't have a damage type or a stat they are derived from. Hence, this type mostly includes abilities that apply negative effects themselves, as they do not deal any damage directly or require a stat to calculate them. Fafnir's Blacksmith Mastery, Lars's Lord of the Storm, and Kark's Nexus of Horror are all vulnerable to silence. But that was just the tip of an iceberg. In fact, there are more advanced techniques that you should be aware of. Did you know that silence can not only prevent Guardians from using the aforementioned abilities for its duration, but also interrupt them if applied at the right time? For example, if Lars is silenced mid-cast of Chain Lightning or Lightning Bolt, it will interrupt the cast and cancel the use of the ability. As all Guardians' abilities have a cooldown timer, Lars also will not be able to cast the interrupted ability immediately after the silence wears off. In case of ultimate abilities, it is even possible to interrupt the cast right after the energy is consumed. Let's take a look at how Thea's silence can break the cast of Xisha's Deadly Ray. If applied with a precise timing, silence interrupts the cast after Xisha uses her energy, but before Deadly Ray deals any damage, both blocking the ability's effect and leaving her unable to cast the ultimate again. 2 birds with a very quiet stone. Although silence can block or interrupt abilities, it will not remove their effects if applied after the cast. Shields like Jorgen's Cycle of Energies, damage over time effects from abilities like Heidi's Toxic Spit, debuffs like Jet's Acid Shot, buffs like Morrigan's Bone Armor. All these effects will persist even if Guardians are silenced after the abilities were used. Silence will also not affect abilities that do not require casting. Passive abilities like Dorian's Initiation, Jet's Inordinate Fury, and Celeste's Zenith cannot be blocked by silence. The same goes for abilities like Helios's Flaming Retribution or Iris's Mysterious Pact and Inner Fire, which activate in response to other Guardians' actions. Right now you might be wondering, silence looks useful indeed, but how do I protect my team from it? Luckily, there are ways. Several heroes can counteract silence with their abilities. For example, Celeste's Purifying Sphere can block an incoming effect, or even remove an already applied one. Same goes for abilities like Nebula's Serenity and Julius's 9 Lives Engine. These skills can have a game-changing effect in fights against teams that shush too much. As you can see, silence is a very versatile and powerful negative effect. You may use it to get an advantage over mages or guardians that rely on pure damage and negative effects. If you encounter a team that utilizes silence to gain an upper hand, try to pick a physical damage dealing heroes or make use of Guardian's glancing abilities. Thank you for your time. See you in the next episode of the Guardian's Guidebook.